understanding the fact that, man, like, I need to change and put myself out there and grow in order to be seen by women and like be sexually desirable. He's instead chosen the route of like blaming the women for not wanting to be with him.
Who are you as a person? Who are you as an individual? How do you treat women? How do you treat people? How do you treat yourself? How do you treat your community? Do you take pride in anything? What is your integrity like? That's what matters. That's what women are looking for.
Guys, I had a really profound conversation with one of my friends the other day. And I never thought that I would get this close to like incel culture, but it has infected the minds of one of my fucking friends, and it makes me very sad. Because this person has been lonely for a long time, and I can relate to that shit, man. I was lonely for several years of my life. You know, I still struggle with loneliness. But instead of understanding the fact that, man, like, I need to change and put myself out there and grow in order to be seen by women and like be sexually desirable, he's instead chosen the route of like blaming the women for not wanting to be with him. And I tried explaining this so many times, like, dude, is the dating culture right now bad? Yes, it's bad. There's a lot of bad shit happening. Social media has fucked us all a lot. But like, ultimately, as a man, and even as
men fucked up dating. So whatever's wrong with dating culture, men fucked it up. Men fucked it up. Men fucked up dating culture. Because apps wouldn't even be bad if the character of men were better. Like, the apps would be great if you think about it. It would actually, like, if men actually had integrity and men were invested in being the best versions of themselves, think about what that would do for the market, right? Instead of, the dating apps only being 30% female, they would be 50% female, 50% male. You know what I mean? But it probably would be, out of the two groups, it would be more like of people that are available, dating aid, it would be closer, like 80% of men will be on the apps and 80% of women would be on the apps, right? Something like that. Okay, cool. And then, because the women would be it would be so much easier for the women to find decent men. But the way that it's set up now is virtually impossible for women to find decent men on or off the app, right? I mean, it's always been hard for women to find decent men, but the apps, I guess in a way you would think it would make it easier, but it doesn't, because it like inundates you with so much information that you overload. You have access to too many people. It's too hard to filter, right? And that's why the 80-20 shit ends up being true, because the women are just swiping on every single, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know which way you swipe when you deny, but they're denying like so many men based on things that men would think are like, oh, because the men don't have any idea. But whatever reason, it's like, it seems like to the men, oh, you're just, oh, because I got gray hair, oh, because I'm 5'8", oh, because, but it's like, yeah, why wouldn't she? Because she has access to all of these fucking men. And if she has a list that, like a baseline criteria that she's hoping for the men to meet, and you miss one of those, you don't check off one of those boxes, and then there's men who check off all of those boxes, and she has access to hundreds of those men. Why would she fucking take a chance on you? It doesn't make any sense, right? But if men were actually decent people and treated women more decent, the women would be more open to, oh, he's 5'8". Oh, yeah, he doesn't make as much money. Oh, all these other things that have to do with your character that may be able to come through, on your profile easier. You know what I'm saying? But they're not interested in that, because they're like, if I'm a date a dude and I'm gonna find a dude on this app, I'm gonna get, you know what I'm saying? I'm getting top of the line. I'm going for, the guy that I want. And if that happens to be the top 20% of men on the apps, then it just so happens to be. But I don't think I don't even think women are dating the top 20% of men on the apps. I think women are choosing 20%, they're choosing 20% of men, and men are going, oh, they must be the top 20% of men, but they're not, though. I bet you a lot of them aren't the top 20% of men. I bet anything There are average men that just know how to put together a decent fucking profile. When I say average, I'm saying as a collective, they're not more intelligent than most people. They're not more charismatic. They're not funnier. They're not nicer. They're not less abusive. They're not better in any of, they're just better at creating a profile. That's the thing that a lot of men don't, you know what I mean? Like men treat online dating like how they treat their apartments, where they'll just have a fucking lawn chair and a TV on the ground as long as they got their PS5 hooked up, and and since they have an apartment, they're expecting to be able to impress a woman, bring a woman over, and it's like, yeah, I got this on there, I don't have a couch, but hey, I got an apartment, let's go to my bedroom, huh? And that's how they kind of do their dating app stuff. It's like there is no attention being paid. It's, I put a picture up there, I don't care how it looks. Yeah, it's from, I snapped the picture, it's from this angle, and I'm, you know what I'm saying, I'm taking it from the bottom angle, and I'm doing like this, or I'm doing the car selfie with my seatbelt still on, like nothing showing my personality whatsoever. Nothing, right? You're just bad at it. You're just bad at doing profile shit. And some dudes, they actually are really attractive at whatever angle that they take a picture, and that's fine, and they win no matter what. That's fine. But most of y'all are just bad at presenting yourself. That's what it is. The presentation is terrible.
As a woman, like the responsibility of being sexually attractive falls on you, okay? A lot of it is your genes, but a lot of it is hard work, man. Like hygiene, being presentable, the way you carry yourself,
Most importantly, your character. Most importantly, your character. Most importantly, your character. Who are you as a person? Who are you as an individual? How do you treat women? How do you treat people? How do you treat yourself? How do you treat your community? Do you take pride in anything? What is your integrity like? That's what matters. That's what women are looking for. And they can pick up on that in these conversations. They can pick up on that in the way that you text them. Just being real.
your economic status, a lot of these things like you can control. And that's just what it is. Like a lot of people don't want to hear that, but it's true, right? And this guy, I fucking talked to him for like an hour trying to get him to understand, because like I literally, like, my heart hurts because the answer is right there, man. The answer is right there. And I'm so grateful.
The answer is you. The answer is look in the mirror and the fucking you're the answer to your own problem, because you're the cause of the majority of your problems in this particular instance.
For the fact that I grew up in a family where like the women are just fucking great role models, man. I looked up to my grandmother, my mom, my sisters. They all taught me so many different things about life, and I internalized those lessons. And what it's taught me is that women don't fucking owe you anything. All right?
Clock that. Clock that T. That 100%. Women don't owe us anything. Access, conversation, their bodies, their labor, zero. A smile, attention, acknowledgement, nothing.
They don't owe you their bodies. They don't owe you sex. They don't owe you attention. Oh. These are things that you have to go get as a man. Like, you have to put in the work. Like, these things shouldn't come to you unless you're fucking 10 out of 10. Like, I'm very...
What does that mean? See, that's the thing that I feel like even this young man is missing, but I like what he's saying, though. I like what he's saying overall, but he's young, and I give him time, and he's on the good path, but he's even saying some stuff that he's missing some major things.
Grateful for a lot of my TikTok audience, because you guys call me handsome and stuff, but I feel a lot of imposter syndrome, because I used to be fucking ugly as fuck. I used to be fat. I used to have no...
They call him, he's not clocking the fact they're calling him handsome because of his personality. They're calling you handsome because of your personality. Sure, you went to the gym, you got on a diet, you got on Atkins, whatever the fuck it is, and now you thinned out, and that's great, right? But the real thing, the thing that's shining through you right now is your personality. That's the thing that makes you attractive. It's your aura, as the Gen Zers would say. Your aura is attractive. And that's what I be trying to articulate to men all the time and convey to men, that how women, how you are as a human being will make a woman physically attracted to you. And the reason why men can't understand or don't understand that is because that's not how it is for men. We can compartmentalize that shit. A woman can be our most hated enemy, but if she bad, she bad. A woman can be, we could be in the middle of an argument with a woman, with our wife, even with a random woman, doesn't matter. She could be like, "You want some head?" And then you're gonna be like, "Wait, what? You want some head, ma'am? I'm really sick. Do you want some head? Yeah, sure." Like, that's how men act. And men try to flip that around, by the way. I've seen many skits where men try to act like all you gotta do is feed a woman, all you gotta do is sleep with a woman. And I'm like, no, that's us. Women be really mad and they will stay mad and they don't want to fuck you even when they're mad, especially when they're mad at you. They don't want to fuck you. They don't like you. You are ugly to them in that moment. You have to build that back up for the one, you know what I'm saying? Like, your woman finds you extremely unattractive when you guys are arguing. Doesn't work like that for me. And he's not clocking that right now. That's what I'm saying. He still got a little bit, good ways to go, but he's on the right path. But he's missing a lot of the real key points.
10 out of 10. Like, I'm very grateful for a lot of my TikTok audience because you guys call me handsome and stuff. But I feel a lot of imposter syndrome because I used to be fucking ugly as fuck. I used to be fat. I used to have no life. I used to have no prospects. I used to like.
And you can be fat and attractive, just FYI. See what I'm saying? Just because you fat don't mean that you're unattractive. Fat people are attractive. Lizzo is attractive. She's fat. I don't know how fat she is anymore, but she was attractive when she was at her biggest weight. She was attractive. Man, damn. Yeah, I can think of a good amount of women that are attractive, fat. Fat and very attractive. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Do nothing. That was my life, was just play video games and do nothing for years. But I put in the work and I changed. And so I see these guys, and even some of my own friends, and it's really upsetting. I see them and they're just like, fuck, dude. These women, they don't want me. The culture's so fucked up, dude. And it's like, yeah, well, have you tried, like, actually changing anything? And the answer is, well, I would, but these girls, it's not going to matter. Like, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Like, that's so stupid, man. It's so dumb. I hate that. I really hate that. I hate that's a part of, like, the male culture now. It's just, like, blaming women when you guys don't want to fucking change. That shit.
That's always been the male culture. That's not a new thing. That's not a new phenomenon. Men always blame women forever and ever and ever. What do you think the Salem witch hunt was about? You know what I'm saying? Men have always blamed women for everything.
Makes me angry because it's hard to change, but you got to do it. If you want to be like a good human, if you want to be up here, that's what you got to do. You can't just sit here and fucking blame girls, blame women for your problems.
That's facts. It's funny because he's one step removed from red pill content. Like the only difference between him and a red pill, and it's a major difference, is he doesn't blame women for his problems. But it's very similar. The rhetoric, you got to work on yourself, 10 out of 10. You got to glow up. You got to put the work in. And it really wasn't about on the internal. It was everything he was talking about was very external, very surface, right? But again, I'm going to take away the things from this that I like, and I'm not going to put it down because, like I said, I think that he's on the right path, and I think he's better than most men because at the very least, he understands that it's not a woman's responsibility. It is not a woman's duty. Women don't owe us anything. Like, all of just that alone, I got to give him a little bit of credit because it's hard to find men that don't feel entitled to women. And we know that we have an entitlement epidemic above all things right now. We have an entitlement epidemic, and men and it's causing women to suffer as well. But men are suffering from it. Men are suffering from it. It's self-induced suffering, but men are suffering from it without a doubt. But overall, I agree with pretty much everything he was saying, and hopefully his friend can get it together, and hopefully he can break through and get through to his friend. You know what I'm saying? I just had a conversation with one of my friends recently, He's not even married. He's not married yet. Older, you know, in his upper 30s. And he's been with this woman for a good amount of time, right? Like 5 years or so, let's say, something like that. He was telling me recently, right, that he was talking about his job. He was saying how he was like, yeah, man, I haven't drank in 19 months. I was like, damn. If you know him, he's like, yeah, I haven't drank in 19 months. And I was like, that's fucking phenomenal. He was like, yeah, with the rigors of the job, I just couldn't maintain that lifestyle because I would drink and I would wake up and I would have a hangover, and keeping up with work, it became too hard. I was like, dope, and then I asked him because I know he's a gamer guy. I was like, so do you play video games still? And he was like, yeah. And he was talking about how he still goes to sleep at 2 or 3 in the morning and he's waking up at 6, 7, whatever. And I was like, yeah, that's the next step. You need to give up the games. And he was like, yeah, I know. I got to cut back on it. And, and I was like, no, you're going to ultimately give them up because the games you play, like if anybody that knows video games, if you play any of the competitive games online, you got to play like minimum to be competitive. You got to play them 4 to 5 hours a day. You know what I'm saying? So, you that's way too much of your life that you have to dedicate to this, this pointless activity that's not bettering your life in any way, shape, or form. It's just an escape. And there's better ways to escape and you be productive. And he was like, yeah, I know, man, I got to quit, da. Now, like I said, he's not married and he's already having to give up these things. He's not drinking anymore. He's already talking about giving up video games. Now, mind y'all, 10 years ago, when I stopped playing video games, right? I quit playing video games cold turkey. I remember telling him about how you're going to have to give up playing video games one day. You're going to have to give up drinking one day. You're going to have to change your lifestyle because your family is going to need you to do that. You're going to have to show up for them, right? And he was like, no, I don't care. Oh, I don't care what my woman says. I'll never give up my alcohol. I'll never give up my video games. I remember having that conversation with him. Fast forward about a decade later, no kids yet, but he's already giving it up. He's already recognizing, like, yeah, he would. And I told him, I was like, I remember telling him that at that time, I said, you're either going to give it up or you're going to lose your family. That was what I told him. Fast forward to today, he either was going to give it up or he was going to lose his job, possibly, or at the very least be stuck and stifled at his position because he wouldn't be able to perform to the level he needed to get another promotion and to keep leveling up. And it's so great. I'm so happy that he recognized it and he gave it up. And I don't know if my talk, you know what I'm saying, helped him. I did, I definitely did the whole, like, I was like, hey, I told you that a long time ago, bro. I'm happy that you gave it, whatever. But, you know what I'm saying? Like, it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Like, but you never know. You never know. You don't know what they take away, what your friends will take away from the conversations you have with them. So it's important to keep having the conversations with them, whether or not they recognize it. That's on them, but have the conversations with them so the seeds will be planted. So when the day comes, they'll be able to actually make the right decision, right?